Well, hello everyone. Welcome to another post-game live stream podcast thing. Missing links. What are the other buzzwords I need to get in there? Live. It's live. This is the missing links. I'm Andrew Dukowitz from Zone Coverage and Sara Brnic from Wolves Twitter Hall of Fame. Lynx Twitter Hall of Fame. Twitter.
I'll take it.
Okay, Sara Brnic from Twitter is here. How's it going?
It's okay. I feel like every time I come on one of these post-game podcasts, it's after a loss, so like maybe I should not be on here anymore. But other than that, I'm doing fine. How are you?
Disappointing game tonight. I mean, just as like someone that is used to covering a team that plays really good defense, really sucked to watch them come out and just. I mean, Cheryl said it after the game. It just felt like they had no energy and they had no fight. And that's kind of what came across the TV. I guess we'll just kind of start with that side of it. Like, this was just a different Lynx team than we're used to, right?
Yeah, it felt, like you said, it was almost unfamiliar to watch them because, usually offense is not always going to go. And today offense really wasn't going for most of the team. But what the Lynx have kind of identified themselves as is this defensive powerhouse that no matter how things are going on the offensive end, they're going to rely on their defense to create offense. And that just did not happen today. Their defense was not there.
Yeah, I think Cheryl said it after 52 points in the paint, like just couldn't get a stop under the basket. Every turnover, it felt like was going for a fast break. Mm-hmm. And then they were just tons of missed rotations on the offensive side. It is just really weird, which hopefully this is just like one off game and they come back home and beat the tar out of Connecticut. And it's, we kind of forget about this one, but honestly, it's going to be hard for people to rank the Lynx as the best team in the league next week, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think games like this are almost necessary in the middle of a season as kind of a growing pain. So if this type of game were to happen, I'm glad that it happened now versus, when it matters even more. Not to say that any game doesn't matter, but yeah, I mean, in Cheryl we trust. I think she's going to have them back to their normal grind. I think that part of it is the Lynx got a little bit comfortable. It's like they don't have Nafisa, they don't have Dorka, and, they're up at the top of the standings the whole season, and they kind of just maybe got a little complacent. And I think this was a good wake-up call because the Liberty are a really good team with really good matchups. So hopefully this kind of steers them into not taking any opponent, not taking anybody for granted.
I mean, honestly, it felt Wolvesy. Like not like in the sense where like the Wolves would do the opposite, where they're playing Oklahoma City and they would just like go completely all out. Yep. It just felt like that kind of vibe coming through the TV. It felt that way talking to Court and K-Mac after the game, hearing from Cheryl after the game. Like it honestly just felt like they kind of went into New York and they just happened to be playing a basketball game.
Yeah.
And the 13-point loss is kind of a credit to just like how good this team is, that even not really locked in, they are able to keep the game that close. But I think Abby said it earlier in the chat. The only person she's not disappointed in is Ola, which, I mean, we'll go that way. Ola was fun.
Yeah. Like I said earlier to you, I think that Ola's growth this season has been amazing. I think that her taking on a bigger role with Fee being injured has been incredible for her career, and I think it's given her a lot of confidence that she didn't have before. But you can't beat a New York Liberty with Brianna Stewart on the other end and Howard having, what did she have, like 7 points? It's just not going to happen. Like that matchup didn't work. I mean, credit to Ola. She played well, but the rest of the team didn't follow suit. So there's not really much she could do.
No. Again, Ola was fine. That was fun. As someone that was like banging the table for Ola minutes last year, like this is just vindicating that it's like, she always shows up, plays hard. Mm-hmm. But yeah, she didn't look too good against Han, Jonquel, or Stewie. I mean, they're just such a big team, which maybe that's the just maybe that's the easy analysis of this is the Lynx without Fee and Dorka are just they're tiny. I mean,
Yeah.
Tosh didn't Tosh looked like a guard out there at times.
Yep.
I guess like in the grand scheme of things, how concerned are you with the Lynx size?
I mean, this was kind of a concern last year too. Like
Mm-hmm.
Fee being our center at what is she 6'1"? Like we've always been a small team. But I think with Fee in the lineup, she commands so much defensive attention that it gives our guard play more space to do what they do best. But when they're able to kind of just, I don't want to say like guard off of Natasha Howard because she's very skilled offensively. I just
Mm-hmm.
think that she doesn't command the same defensive presence as Fee. So I think that when Fee comes back in the lineup, when Dorcom comes back in the lineup, I think it's going to be a little bit easier for our guards to kind of move, shift. We're going to be running a little bit more of a fast-paced half-court offense, and I think that that'll be good. But I mean, our size has always been an issue. It was an issue last year and the year before that and the year before that.
Yeah, I do agree. Like it's just a weird spot that they're in because when Fee and Dorka come back, they're gonna be really deep in the like power forward center positions.
Right.
They're gonna be two really good players deep, but they still just don't have. I mean, Dorka's like a legit 6'3", 6'4". I think she's listed at 6'5", but she might be like a hair under that in reality. I don't know how they figure that out other than, like you said, the offense, I think, does help when you're able to just sprint out there and kind of break things down and play with more pace. You wear people down. But the other side of it is just if shots aren't going in like they were tonight, it might just be a game where the Lynx can't win it against these bigger teams. I do kind of want your take on everyone's kind of had an adjustment period with the fouls this year. I mean, Natasha Howard kind of most notably came into the season and had like 5 fouls in each of her first 5 games. I think that's an actual stat and I didn't make it up. I'm not going to stat check it. So sorry if that's wrong. But like, do you think that's going to be an issue with Fee when she comes back too, where it's going to be like learning a new game for the first couple weeks?
I think that since Fee has kind of had a front row seat to the refereeing, she's kind of, gotten a little taste of it. Of course, she's probably going to get in a little bit of foul trouble here and there. But I think that her kind of having, half of a season to witness firsthand how they're calling games, it's going to give her a little bit to go off of and how hard she can play and like what she can get away with, what she can't. So I don't think it's going to be as much of an adjustment period as it was for players coming in fresh, not knowing anything of how the refs are going to call it versus her having half a season pretty much to kind of gauge it.
And people in the chat are just kind of mentioning the Lynx had 8 turnovers to the Liberty's 17. Lynx out rebounded on the offensive glass 16-7, and they had 85 shots to the Liberty's 62. I mean, that's just a testament to how one-sided this game was.
Yeah.
Like the Lynx, they did everything right. They just couldn't get a stop to save
Yeah.
their lives, which I think King of B mentioned in the chat. Like, did anyone else know that they were playing basketball today? Like, that's honestly, that's kind of my take, is that they just didn't look particularly ready to play a game tonight, which again, it sucks in sports because you'd think that never happens to the really good teams, but like just like New York and San Antonio in the NBA, the Aces have off nights. Liberty have off nights. Certainly the Lynx can have one too. My hope is that it's just an off night and they go back to kind of just pushing people around. Truckin brings up a good point though. Do you think this was Olivia's welcome to the W moment? This game?
I don't think that Olivia thinks that this was her welcome to the W moment. I think she's so confident in herself, which is one of her greatest assets. That I don't think she takes it as like, oh, I got schooled because I'm a rookie. She takes it as a learning experience, as she should, but I don't think she takes it as like somebody little dogged her. You know what I mean? Like, but I think this was probably her first, maybe her second game with a really, really good team where she's kind of had to gauge, okay, this is how they're going to guard me. This is how I have to adjust. My team's not making shots. What do I do now as the number one? Which I think that, like I said earlier, it's a learning experience for the whole team, and I'm glad it's happening mid-season versus playoff time.
Yeah, I agree. Liv, I don't think will have a welcome to the W moment because she's more like giving people like welcome, it's my W moments more than she's getting. Like she did get clocked a couple times. Like Stewie got her pretty good in the face. I want to say it was John Quell just kind of stonewalled her on a screen in the first half. She also the thing that I thought was an ankle sprain ended up being just a cramp, and then they decided not to put her back in. So like she is healthy. She didn't get hurt through it. I would honestly say more of that the Golden State game a few weeks ago where she was ice cold, ended up getting like the game-saving block, but like that was the first time teams really kind of guarded her like she was the best player on this team. And I think New York did that. I'm trying to think who said it in the chat, but somebody brought up like they were playing a ton of zone. I think that certainly messed with her a little bit. Like the zone in the WNBA is just different from the zone in college, right? Everybody's bigger, everybody's faster. But like the zone did kind of bother her a little bit, don't you think?
Yeah, it absolutely did. And that's just one of those things that she's going to have to learn to adjust, which is, like I said, a learning moment for her. And I think that she's so skilled and she has such a high basketball IQ that like just that one game of her being able to go back, watch film and see, I could have done this here. I shouldn't have done this there. This was okay. The next time she sees a really tough zone, I think she's going to play a lot better. And that's just a testament to who Olivia is as a player. I think, like I said, like I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I'm really glad this is happening now because she's going to see it throughout the whole season, throughout playoffs. People are going to throw different coverages at her, and she's going to have to learn to adjust, which is, normal for a rookie.
I wouldn't be surprised if Connecticut comes out of like the second quarter on Monday playing zone. Like I think once the blueprint's out there and people think like, oh, this is something we can do to stop them, like we're going to figure out pretty quick if Olivia Miles can play against the zone. Because like I said, Connecticut's probably going to do it right away. And then if they're successful, Toronto and Portland and New York the next time are going to run a ton of zone until Liv can kind of beat it. I do think like one thing that kind of stood out tonight that I don't know if it's an issue yet, but Cheryl twice in these losses have brought up how the Lynx are one of the worst passing teams in the league. They're, I want to say it like 10th or 11th in assist percentage now. That was before this game, obviously. And then passes per game, they're I think second to last. And like to break a zone, you got to pass the ball. I just haven't figured out if that's an issue yet, because a lot of the reason they don't pass it a ton is because it's Liv brings the ball up, runs a pick and roll, and scores herself. But like, have you felt like the ball's been like sticky this year at all?
I wouldn't say it's been like sticky, but I think, there's been moments where I'm watching a play happen and they could have swung it a couple more times. But then you also have plays where it's like amazing passes happen and then they just like biff a layup. So it's like that, assist ratio is kind of skewed that way because we do make a lot of beautiful plays passing the ball and then just end up missing shots. Like today, we just couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. But yeah, I think once, people settle in and like you said, when Liv kind of gets used to seeing zone coverages, and we have Cheryl Reeve as our coach. Like, I'm not worried about her being able to kind of point out to Liv, like, hey, this is what to expect. This is what we need you to do. These are your options. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be an issue, honestly, especially when Fee and Dorga come back. I don't see us being that low in assists and passes.
It is kind of, again, going back to the zone thing, like, how do you break a zone, right? Like you put someone at kind of like the elbow, you ISO them and let them make decisions. Like what is Fee's greatest strength as a basketball player? Getting the ball at the elbow and making decisions. So like, I do think at some point very soon when Fee is back. I'm honestly kind of I'm not going to say stunned, but I'm a little, my eyebrows are raised that Fee and Dorka didn't play tonight. Like I kind of thought this made a lot of sense for them to come back. Maybe Connecticut, or maybe, you know, they had a meeting and decided, let's just have a couple more practices to get conditioning up. But it is going to change everything when Fee is back, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's probably going to take a little bit of time for, Olivia to learn to play with Fee in real game situations. I'm sure they've had practices and stuff like that, but if you've ever played a sport, the practice is really truly nothing like actual games. So,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little bit of a learning curve there too, for her to kind of learn Fee's spacing and Dorca's spacing and where they like the ball and how they like to play. But I do think that after a few games of them playing together, I think they're going to link together really well. And I think the Lynx have a legitimate shot if everybody stays healthy.
It's kind of obnoxious, right? Like, middle of the season, you're one of the best teams in the league and you just happen to get the runner-up MVP back. I mean, like, how ridiculous is this in your mind? Like, I can't figure out words.
No, it's bonkers to me, especially considering we have how many people returned? Like 3
Technically
total?
5. Technically.
Okay.
Matt
Technically
K.
5.
Fee, Kosu, and then Dorka is the technical 5 because she was here in 2024.
So
That's it.
3
9 new
people
players.
truly that played last year. 2 if we are going like full rotation players, because Kosu didn't really get that much playing time last year.
Yeah.
Basically a brand new roster. Absolutely brand new roster. We lost the co-defensive player of the year, and we're still, top of the league. Like, that's just a testament to Cheryl Reeve, honestly, being able to find, I say this jokingly, like a band of misfits and make them into a legitimate contender. And then, like you said, we've got runner-up MVP, WNBA MVP, and then we've got the reigning EuroLeague MVP returning. It's just not fair.
No, it isn't. It's not fair.
Sorry, rest of the league. We're just elite.
Like, that's the thing. They're just figuring out kind of what to try against Liv and what could work against the Lynx. And then it's just all going to change, which again, if there's a coach that's going to be able to figure it out, it's Cheryl. I'm going to throw us over to a couple ad reads. When we come back, though, we'll talk a little bit more about Natasha Howard. I see some people bringing her up in the chat, and I'll run down the remaining of July schedule for you because it's pretty glim for the rest of the league. Well, hello. Thank you, Livestream Andrew. This is Ad Read Andrew. And today we have Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, the presenting sponsor for the Missing Links podcast. Firehawk Construction and Remodeling strives to inspire people to follow their ideas, working with respect and understanding to create a quality, tailored result. Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, located in Blaine and serving in the North Metro area, is here to help you with your building and remodeling needs. I can say personally, thanks to Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, I have a beautiful deck in my backyard and countless projects that I started, they finished. Get started on your new deck or remodel today by calling Isaac at 763-710-5686. And we're back with another ad read. This time for Pence Homes, the presenting sponsor of Hitting the Hardwood Network. From the best tools and technology to transparency throughout the entire process, Nate Pence and the Pence Homes team is the top choice for buyers, sellers, and is proud to support you and your home ownership goals. Get started today by calling 612-308-1122 or by emailing info@pencehomes.com. Sorry, I was reading chat too much because Ghost of Garulis is just starting to start trouble between Ad Read Andrew and Livestream Andrew. Before we get into Natasha Howard more, just a couple of questions in the chat. Dustin asked, why were Court's minutes down? Normally Court starts the fourth, hits the bench at like the 8 or 9 minute mark, and then comes back in at the 4 minute mark. She just didn't come back in because Cheryl kind of just acknowledged like this isn't our night. There's also first quarter, Cheryl was trying to get something sparked. I mean, she threw Dallaire in there right away. She threw Maya Caldwell in there pretty much right away. Took Liv out after like 3 minutes. Like she was trying to spark something. I think she figured that the energy stuff, maybe the bench could come in and jumpstart it. Didn't work that way, but I think between the two of those, that's why courts were a little lower. Someone else mentioned just Carrie mentioned Liv, Court, Mac all on the floor at the same time against the Liberty. Size is a problem. Absolutely. Don says extremely disappointed in Olivia Miles' play. I wouldn't say extremely disappointed. There was some effort things that I hadn't seen yet from her. Like there was a couple like box out things where she didn't really get her hips into anyone and the ball just kind of like clanked off the rim. I think one of them, John Kell, got the offensive rebound and put it back in. There's another like couple shot contests where she just didn't really jump out there at the perimeter that you don't normally see from her. So like I think in that sense it was disappointing. I don't think like her play on the floor was necessarily disappointing though. What about you, Sarah?
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I don't think that. I mean, she put up a decent stat line. Like if you're just watching stats, her stat line was decent. But like you said, there was those effort plays, and I think that kind of ties back into what Cheryl said post game is that they kind of came out with no urgency. Like nobody really seemed like they knew they were playing a basketball game, and I think that just kind of was a team wide issue. It wasn't just Olivia, but I also think that this might be kind of a growing moment for her when she sees that stuff's not falling, like her teammate shots aren't falling, defense isn't going great. It's almost like why in her head internally maybe she was thinking, why should I even go for this rebound? It's not going to matter. And that's one of those things that like a little bit of coaching could absolutely fix. And I feel like that is kind of a rookie growing pain mistake. Um, because in Cheryl's mind, I know as I've followed the Lynx for quite some time, a game is never over until the final buzzer sounds. And I think that Cheryl's going to let them know that at the next practice.
Yeah, I don't think film is going to be particularly fun. Like I assume they're flying in tonight. They'll probably have like film tomorrow and then have the rest of the day off and then a practice on Sunday. Like film session and that practice are going to probably suck for the Lynx because Cheryl is really good at picking out every single play like that and being like, here is on the big screen why we didn't win. I do think that is an evolution that players need to take though, because I feel like no matter who you ask, NBA or WNBA, like they're pretty candid that like a defensive stop gets the juice going more than just like a good shot or like a step back three or a dunk. Like when somebody just gets a shot swatted or someone like picks a good pass and goes the other way with it, like I do think the truly great players figure that out at some time early on that that's the better way to juice your team than like throw up a bad shot, right?
Right. No, absolutely, 100% agree. I think like growing up playing basketball, you have more fun playing offense. It's obviously way more fun playing offense, especially if you're Olivia Miles who can pass, who can shoot, who does all the flashy stuff on offense. But I think like this game in particular is going to be kind of a growing pain for her, where it truly is going to nail it home for her that good defense creates exciting offense. So I think that this, like I said before, this game was almost necessary for us in a way, because I think it is going to be a catalyst for us to kind of, learn from our little mistakes.
Completely agree. Like I think I'm not a moral victory person. Like I always say that on this pod. There's not like you can be like, that was fun, but like a loss is a loss. Like there's no like in my mind, there's no like greater power to a loss. I think the film study on tomorrow though is going to be really helpful for this team, especially when Cheryl's bringing up they're not passing as much as she would like. She's bringing up the effort stuff. Like all of that will show up on tape, especially when they're slowing it down and you can see that like a Kayla McBride is wide open for three and they just don't make the extra read, or some of these weird kind of up against the zone. I think Ola tried to have like an up and under shot that got like swatted back into her chin. Like those things those will stand out on film.
For sure.
I do want to get your Natasha Howard take though, because again, I haven't talked to you really since the Lynx started. How kind of shocked are you that she's been this good?
I wouldn't say I'm shocked because Natasha Howard is, a legend of the WNBA. She's been amazing. I think that her fit here, it just works a little bit better for her than, last year comparatively at the Fever. Like she played well, but she wasn't playing as well as she is now. And I think that's a testament to Cheryl Reeve's system and just having elite guard play. Not to say that the Fever don't have elite guards, because they obviously do, but they run a completely different system. And I think that with, Fee being out, Dorka being out, and her being kind of the main five and being a vet, she's kind of taken that upon herself and has just done an amazing job. I'm so happy for her. Happy that she's been selected to All-Star. Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm surprised though, but it is refreshing, I'd say, to see her playing this well.
It's just been fun. Like Lynx fans have been making this comparison a lot, and I'm starting to come around to it of like she has like the Jaden McDaniels thing where she just doesn't talk a lot, but when she does, it's a banger. Mm-hmm. And like on the floor, you don't really see her like talking trash a ton, but you'll see her like whispering to people, and like I can't unsee it now how she's just this weird like hybrid of like Jaden and but also like awesome hands, really good around the basket. I know somebody in the chat said that this was like a Natasha Howard clunker. Like honestly, she's only had maybe 2 or 3 of them all season. Before we get out of here though, Sarah, I want your take here. So here are the remaining 10 games in July. You can pick the record and then just let me know what you think. There's 10 games. They play Connecticut, New York at home, Phoenix at home, Sparks at home, Fire at home, Storm twice on the road, Tempo once at home, once on the road. So again, their 10 games in July are Sun, Liberty, Mercury, Sparks, Fire, Storm, Tempo. What's your prediction?
I think realistically, they're probably winning 8 of them. I mean, the Lynx fan in me is like 10 for 10. Easy. But I'm assuming at some point in these next 10 games, Fee and Dorka will come back. There's going to be kind of an adjustment period. Granted, I don't want to like talk down on any team, but we're not playing like powerhouse teams. So they're still easily winnable, even if we don't play to our best potential. But again, stuff happens, and realistically, they're gonna win 8. Is my prediction.
Before tonight, I had them at 9-2, thinking they would win 1 against New York and then 1 random loss. 9-1 the rest of this stretch, like that's tough with losing this first one in New York, but I still think they can do it. Like to your point, Seattle's the worst team in the West. Phoenix is the next worst. Portland's the 3rd worst, and LA is the 4th worst. And then they play the worst team in the East and the 3rd worst team in the East. Like it's kind of obnoxious how this schedule is working out for them at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be surprised if we don't win at least 8 of those games, but I'm going to knock on wood here because I've been known to, jinx teams. But at the same time, like you can never count a team out in the W. I mean, basketball is a game of runs. It's a game of is my shot falling today or not? But hopefully this game will kind of light a fire under the Lynx, and just because your offense isn't going, that means you have to try 10 times harder on defense, because that's how you're going to create your offense. And I just don't think they did that tonight, and that's why we ended up losing.
I mean, the other important thing I'd bring up is like they actually get some rest now. They do have a tough stretch between the Mercury and the first Seattle game. I think it's 4 games in 7 days. Like that's tough. They only have 1 game between now and July 8th. So like at least they'll be able to rest a little bit.
Yeah.
I think the other side of it is just this Lynx team usually comes back trying to make an example out of somebody when they lose a game. Didn't really happen against the Mystics, but I feel for Connecticut, right?
Yeah. Because, like I said, I don't want to talk down on any team, but Connecticut is a very beatable team to begin with. But now, especially if the Lynx are playing kind of with a chip on their shoulder.
Shout out for a potential Diamond Miller revenge game, maybe?
Probably not, to be real, but it would be, cool to see, because I really did like Diamond when she was here. I wanted the best for her. I want the best for her still, but like not against the Lynx, though. Just do it against some other team.
Yeah, Diamond's just tough because it's like there's an alternate universe where she never gets the meniscus injury, never gets the other knee injury. Like that 2024 season, they had her slated to start and she got hurt in camp, and BC just did her job and never gave it back.
Yep.
Like there's just another universe where Diamond is like the second best player on the Lynx, and that sucks. That we don't live in that universe because she's a delightful person.
Yes, agreed.
Sarah, I want to give you the chance. Anything you want to plug? Where can people find you? What are you up to nowadays?
Not really doing much of anything other than working, living a normal life, man. I don't do anything but, tweet and work. No, I don't really have anything to plug other than I do want to say that Croatia was robbed last night in the World Cup. I'm still upset about it. But that's pretty much all of my grievances. I don't really have anything else going on.
That's pretty much all of my grievances.
So life is good, man. That's my only grievance. It hurts, but it is what it is. You can find me on Twitter at Wolves Twitter Sara TWT. I think that's my username. I don't even know anymore.
I'll plug it.
Yeah. If you want to see me, tweeting about the most random things. A lot of World Cup tweets lately. Sorry for my basketball followers that don't care, but
I mean, I feel like the World Cup's been, I'm not a soccer person at all, and I've been pretty locked into it. Like it's been super fun. Who are you rooting for now that, like, are you on US train now or?
Yeah, so in my house, actually, before the World Cup started, I hung up a Bosnian flag, a Croatian flag, and an American flag. For those of you who don't know, I was born in Bosnia. I'm ethnically half Croatian and then half Bosnian and Albanian. So that's like my homeland. And of course, you got to go for Bosnia, you got to go for Croatia. And then I'm a US citizen. I was, came here as a refugee, and this place gave me an amazing life. So, yeah, America all the way for now. We'll see. Hopefully they make it far. Other than that, I'm kind of just in it for the vibes. Let's just see some upsets.
I mean, Belgium, I think they got on Monday. That'll be fun.
That'll be a fun game. It'll be tough, but I think that we can beat them. And
then I think it goes way downhill after that, which I guess if you get to like the round of 16, probably should get tougher, but like, yeah, we'll see what happens Monday. Sarah, thanks for joining. For anyone that joined in this late, does get posted up on YouTube and X as soon as the stream ends here. You can also catch it tomorrow. That'll be July 4th at 7 a.m. It'll pop up as a podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts. I will be back Monday after that Connecticut game. And like, I don't know if anything Wolves crazy happens over the weekend, we'll probably do an emergency live or talk about that. So far, it's just Bones Highland is here still, and also Trey Lyles, who, man, I am getting all of the deets on Trey Lyles. and his elementary education from my friends down in Indiana. But again, thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll catch you on Monday.